Welcome, everyone. Today we're diving into a masterpiece that transcends time and genre, Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody. An amalgamation of rock, ballad, and opera, this song is nothing short of a cultural phenomenon.
Indeed, Hal. A piece that mirrors the great literary epics in its intricate narrative and emotional depth. It's a privilege to discuss such a work.
I have to say, Amelia, your literary comparison hits the mark. It's rare to find a song that demands such intellectual and creative engagement.
And let's not forget how it broke the mold, not just musically, but visually, with its pioneering music video. It's an art curator's dream subject. Spot on, Izzy. The technological foresight in both its production and its video was way ahead of its time.
Amelia, Izzy, I appreciate your perspectives. This song is a cultural artifact, a microcosm of the zeitgeist of the 1970s and beyond.
Mick, your historical context is invaluable. However, let's not neglect the personal touch Mercury gave to this memorable song.
Personal touches are fine, but let's ground this discussion in fact too. The mythology surrounding Mercury's writing process is captivating but often oversimplified.
Lenny raises a valid point, yet Amelia's angle on the personal is what makes art resonate with us on a deeper level.
Lenny, without the personal, we wouldn't have such a rich tapestry to analyze culturally speaking. It's the essence of art. Reflection on Mercury's motivations is fascinating, but from a tech stance, it's the song's recording techniques that are revolutionary.
Jazz, agree about the techniques, they were groundbreaking, but let's not conflate technical innovation with artistic merit. They're not always the same.
But don't you think, Lenny, that the bravery to innovate technically is a substantial part of its artistic merit?
Amelia has a compelling point. Innovation is at the heart of art's evolution. This piece embodies that courage to experiment, to push boundaries.
That courage changed music history. Yet, we shouldn't lose sight of how Bohemian Rhapsody reflects and shapes cultural narratives.
I'd argue it didn't just reflect culture, it anticipated the future of it. We're still catching up to what Bohemian Rhapsody put in motion. All brilliant points. This song didn't just speak to its own era, it speaks to us now. Its relevance seems to be a moving target, always one step ahead.
Indeed, a timeless classic, but complex, much like this Roundtable. Now, let's delve deeper into Bohemian Rhapsody's layers, starting with its complex structure and genre fusion in segment 1. All right, let's dissect the complex structure and genre fusion, which makes Bohemian Rhapsody a mosaic of musical styles. Amelia, perhaps you'd like to start us off?
With pleasure, Hal. The song captures a Shakespearean breadth in its design. Its compartmental layout, shifting from ballad to opera to hard rock, is akin to a three-act play. It's pure, unadulterated narrative genius.
I love that, Amelia. And each act is a standalone piece of art, yet together they're a masterpiece. That fusion is a cultural statement, blending the so-called high and low art, much like Warhol's pieces.
Izzy, that's an attractive point, but we can't ignore the possible pretentiousness of it. To some ears, they're not a fusion, but a confusion. Genre bending? Sure, but is it cohesive or just a chaotic mashup? It took guts, but structure shouldn't be conflated with quality.
Cohesive chaos is sometimes the crucible of creativity, Lenny. It's the very cradle of innovation, emboldening others to break rules.
And let's be real, the technical execution of that chaos was nothing short of brilliant. The operatic section alone involved complex multi-tracking, which was groundbreaking.
Jazz, absolutely. The technical mastery is undeniable. This was their Sistine Chapel ceiling, a bold exploration of music's possibilities. Risky, yes, but they achieved a lasting legacy with this approach.
Thank you, Mick, for that artful metaphor. And jazz, when speaking of execution, we mustn't forget how Bohemian Rhapsody redefined what was possible in a recording studio.
Execution, recording, legacy, it's all noteworthy. But as a critic, I have to question, is it this complexity that merits the song's fame, or is it simply cloaked in nostalgia?
Lenny, while I understand your critical perspective, the song's staying power speaks volumes about its intrinsic value, beyond nostalgic appeal.
Lenny, Amelia, both valid points. The song's ambition certainly gambled with the listener's patience, but it paid off in its enduring impact.
Its boldness paved the way for technology in music. We don't get to our current digital era without Queen pushing the analog limits back then.
The analog to digital progression, yes, jazz. But let's not erase the context. This fusion, the complex structure, it held a mirror up to a society grappling with its own identity. It was a cultural symphony of its day.
And through today's lens, Bohemian Rhapsody still reflects our multiplex world, diverse, disjointed, and unapologetically eclectic.
Well said, Izzy. If art isn't the sounding board for our collective consciousness, then what is?
Reflecting on this, it's clear Bohemian Rhapsody was more than a gamble. It was a testament to music's boundless potential. Shall we turn to Freddie Mercury's inspiration and writing process in the next segment? Segment 2 beckons us to explore the enigmatic Freddie Mercury's inspiration and writing process for Bohemian Rhapsody. Mick, can you shed some light on the historical influences?
Of course, Hal. Mercury was a man cloaked in mystery, but undeniably historical and personal experiences shaped his songwriting. From Zoroastrianism to his own bisexuality, these elements bleed into his lyrics, creating a song that feels almost autobiographical at times.
Mick, you nailed it. Bohemian Rhapsody feels intensely private. It's like walking through an art gallery of Mercury's mind, each verse a different exhibit of his life. And that personal angle made the song relatable. It's like he took his own story and coded it in a way that each listener finds their truth within it. There's genius in that ambiguity.
True, jazz, but to label it coded autobiography feels a stretch. It's speculation. Mercury himself played coy about the song's meaning, encouraging various interpretations.
Lenny, your caution holds water, yet Freddie's playful ambiguity doesn't negate the evident personal threads we can trace in the song. Isn't art often a canvas for personal catharsis?
It is, Amelia, but we risk romanticizing. Art can be made for art's sake without being a diary entry. Mercury's known for his theatrics. Perhaps this was another act.
However, Lenny, theater is no less meaningful. Mercury's theatrics allowed marginalized groups to feel seen, even if through allegory. Izzy's on the money. And Lenny, while overstating personal narratives can be problematic, denying their potential presence is equally so, isn't it?
Jazz, you're onto something. We can't divorce art from its creator. Mercury's life is intertwined with his creation, regardless of the specifics.
A nuanced debate. Mercury was an artist of riddles, keeping us guessing with his lyricism. Izzy, how do you feel these riddles impacted the cultural world?
They challenged us, Hal. They made us look for deeper meaning, not just in music, but in all cultural expressions. In a way, he set the stage for artists to embed complexity in their work.
Exactly, Izzy. And this complexity sparked literary discussions about music. As a bibliophile, I find that songs like Bohemian Rhapsody invite a literary dissection unprecedented in other rock songs.
While I'm all for complexity, let's not crown mere obscurity as depth. Many songs are shrouded in ambiguity without offering actual insight.
Still, that obscurity led to conversations. It spurred technological advancements to peel back layers of sound, seeking understanding. There's value there, Lenny.
Agree with Jazz, it's about the discourse it spawned. Mercury might have been the composer, but the audience completed the narrative he set in motion.
A hearty discourse indeed. Freddie Mercury left us with questions, and with those, a rich legacy that prompts us to keep searching for answers. Shall we now shift to the innovative recording techniques used in creating this iconic song? As we delve into the groundbreaking recording techniques behind Bohemian Rhapsody, we find yet another aspect of its brilliance. Lenny, technology is a field you're well versed in. What stands out to you?
How? It's the sheer audacity to use studio technology as an instrument in itself that impresses me the most. Overdubbing the vocals to the point of near destruction of the tapes was unprecedented. They didn't just push the envelope, they tore it apart.
Lenny, wonderfully put. The analog multi-tracking they used laid the groundwork for the digital wonders we perform in studios today. It wasn't just impressive, it was visionary. And let's not forget, jazz, how the band insisted on perfection, sometimes demanding a studio session just for a few seconds of music. That's dedication to the craft.
Indeed, Izzy. As a lover of the arts, I liken their meticulous layering of vocals and instruments to a painter's delicate brushstrokes on a canvas.
Well said, Amelia. The song's harmonies were like a sonic representation of the Renaissance polyphony. Every voice had its place, yet together they formed something divine.
But we risk romanticizing again. It was innovative, yes, but also a happy accident of technology available at the time. Not necessarily a stroke of genius.
I must disagree, Lenny. It's easy to attribute success to serendipity, but it takes a true visionary to exploit these accidents the way Queen did. Jazz, precisely. And let's not downplay the creative decision-making. It was a symphony of technical prowess and artistic decision-making.
It seems we're in agreement about the groundbreaking nature, though Lenny cautions us against ascribing all to intent.
Caution is wise, Hal. Remember, other bands were exploring similar techniques. Queen wasn't in a vacuum.
True, Lenny. But what set them apart was their ability to marry those techniques with such bold artistry. They were the full package.
Not to mention the risk. Studio time wasn't cheap. They invested not just time, but significant financial resources into this recording.
Jazz highlight a crucial aspect, commitment. And Lenny, even if the techniques were not entirely original, what they accomplished with them was unique.
This technique also extended to how the song interacts with the audience. Like an exhibition, it draws you in, then envelops you in its soundscape.
Each point here underscores how Bohemian Rhapsody was not just a succession of chords, but a laborious, meticulous act of creation. Let's turn our attention to the pioneering music video that accompanied the song, shall we? Segment 4 takes us into the realm of visual art, the pioneering music video for Bohemian Rhapsody. Izzy, as a curator, how did this innovation set the stage for others?
Hal, it was transformative. Bohemian Rhapsody practically invented the modern music video as we know it. The band turned a promotional clip into a work of art that was an essential part of the song's identity.
Izzy, it's like they foresaw the future of multimedia storytelling. Viewing the video is like turning the pages of an illuminated manuscript that accompanies an epic poem.
That's a brilliant analogy, Amelia. And from a technological standpoint, the video introduced techniques like multi-screen shots that foreshadowed today's video editing software capabilities.
Jazz, and those techniques have aged beautifully, a rare case in the often ephemeral world of tech. We take for granted how avant-garde that video was for its time.
But friends, we mustn't overstate the video's complexity. It was groundbreaking, yes, but aesthetically, it was quite simple. A product born of necessity with a limited budget, rather than an avant-garde intention.
Lenny, sometimes simplicity is the highest form of sophistication. It made the video accessible and ripe for widespread broadcast, which is precisely what embraced it.
Lenny brings a grounded perspective, yet Izzy points out the beauty in that simplicity.
Let's remember the harmony between the simple and the complex. The stripped-back nature of the video didn't strip it of artistic value.
It was an artistic leap of faith, using effects that now seem rudimentary, but were revolutionary. They didn't shy away from experimental filming, and that's commendable.
Just so, Jazz. It captured the zeitgeist and stretched the capabilities of the medium, asserting the song's visual presence and not just auditory.
And through this visual medium, Queen expanded the song's impact, allowing it to resonate not just in the ears but in the eyes of its beholders. It was, in many ways, a cultural cinematograph.
Such fine points to consider. The video married the song's audio masterpiece with a visual one, creating a lasting total artwork or Gesamtkunstwerk. Moving along, let's now reconvene to discuss the critical reception and the astounding legacy of Bohemian Rhapsody. Shall we? Now, let's reflect on the critical reception and the enduring legacy of Bohemian Rhapsody. Mick, could you start us off with how the critics initially received the song?
Well, Hal, it's a tale of extremes. Initially, some critics panned it, too long, too eclectic, too dramatic. They couldn't pigeonhole it, and that discomfort showed in their reviews. Yet, as we know, the public's adoration more than compensated, confirming its place in history.
Mick, you've hit a salient point. Despite polarized reviews, the song managed to capture the collective imagination. Art, after all, isn't always made for critics, but for the people.
Izzy makes a fair statement. However, we must not overlook the fact that a catchy tune alone can appeal to the masses. Critical acclaim and popularity are not always bedfellows.
But Lenny, isn't the implication that the masses lack discernment a bit elitist? Bohemian Rhapsody spoke and continues to speak to something universal in the human spirit.
Exactly, Amelia, and we can't ignore the song's technical influence. It challenged what artists believed they could achieve in the studio, and that legacy continues.
Jazz. No one's downplaying the technical feats. My point is about discerning taste versus mass appeal. We're discussing legacy, not just popularity.
Yet, Lenny, mass appeal has led to its ubiquitous legacy. The song's not just a hit, it's a cultural touchstone that has influenced countless artists across genres.
The song became a yardstick for artistic ambition. Even skeptics have to acknowledge the role it played in shaping the course of modern music.
And it's not just a yardstick for music. As a piece of literary work, yes, I'm calling it literary, it's incredibly rich and full of interpretative potential. It's truly a chameleon of culture.
Amelia's poetic view aligns with the song's transformative power. It's had as many second acts as there are listeners, each finding new nuances over time.
And let's not forget its revival in films and other media, which repeatedly bring it back into the current conversation. It's transcended its original release era. It's that very transcendence that defines its legacy. The song's become an anthem for moments of change and celebration, globally recognized and eternally relevant.
Each generation seems to rediscover Bohemian Rhapsody, affording it this remarkable legacy. Now, with its place in the pantheon of great works firmly established, shall we explore the operatic influences in rock music in our next segment? In this next segment, let's examine the blending of operatic style with rock music, a boundary Queen blurred beautifully in Bohemian Rhapsody. Amelia, your familiarity with classical music might offer a poignant starting point.
Certainly, Hal. Bohemian Rhapsody seamlessly integrates the melodramatic flair of opera with the raw energy of rock, akin to Wagner's concept of Gesamtkunstwerk, a total work of art. It invites comparisons to operatic greats like Verdi and Puccini, showcasing Mercury's vocal range and the band's musical versatility.
Amelia, that's beautifully put. It's as if Mercury's exploring his own theatricality through the lens of opera, all while subverting the traditional rock formula.
Izzy, I concur on the theatricality, but I must raise a question. Is the operatic insertion in rock music truly visionary, or is it a dramatized pastiche, a novelty?
Lenny, you present a valid skepticism. Yet, the technical challenge of merging these disparate genres shouldn't be overlooked. It was a fusion that set the precedent for the future of music production, where barriers are meant to be broken.
Indeed, jazz. Lenny, the richness of fusion genres stems from audacious attempts like this. Bohemian Rhapsody may be operatic, but it's no pastiche. It's a sophisticated homage.
Amelia is onto something. Historical styles evolve, and what Queen did was create a modern-day opera while firmly planting it in rock soil. This isn't an imitation, it's a renaissance.
Mick, you're absolutely right. And what's more operatic than Freddie Mercury's life itself? The song gave rock the narrative depth and emotional resonance usually reserved for opera.
Fair points all around. Yet are we crediting the operatic element with too much of the song's success? After all, opera isn't universally accessible.
Perhaps not universally accessible, Lenny, but it's the emotional core of opera that translates across Bohemian Rhapsody, not just its stylistic trappings.
Profound insights. And though Lenny urges caution in our assessment, it's clear that this melding of genres has left a deep imprint on music. As we continue, let's turn our attention to the cultural impact of Bohemian Rhapsody. Now let's explore the vast cultural landscape that Bohemian Rhapsody has influenced. Izzy, as a curator, you witness firsthand the impact of art on culture. What's your take?
Hal, it's substantial. Bohemian Rhapsody has become a cultural touchstone. It's united people across all walks of life in communal sing-alongs, been a comfort song for the lonely, and it's been used politically for various causes. Its versatility and meaning allows it to be a vessel for whatever message people need to convey. Spot on, Izzy. It's not just a song anymore, it's a cultural icon. Its technological birth has inspired countless advances in how we perceive the combination of art and science.
Jazz, the point about technology is key, yet it's the anthem-like quality of the song that has truly embedded itself into our societal fabric. It belongs to the people now, not just to Queen or the rock genre.
All true, but I've seen how its omnipresence can be a tad grating. There's such a thing as oversaturation, which might dilute the song's original impact.
Lenny, while I understand where you're coming from, I can't help feeling that the song's adaptability and endurance across decades suggest not dilution but depth of meaning.
I agree, Amelia. The song's cultural impact also lies in its ability to be continually rediscovered and reinterpreted. It's a canvas that every generation paints anew. Absolutely, Izzy. And let's not discount its influence on modern pop songs that strive for that same complexity and staying power in their own cultural contexts.
Well, yes, jazz, but Lenny's point shouldn't be dismissed. Its repeated use in pop culture can sometimes feel like a reduction of its original artistry to a mere trope.
Mick, while I see the merit in your and Lenny's argument, I'd argue that even as a trope, it offers a shared language in pop culture that we desperately need in times of division.
A formidable debate on saturation versus significance. The song's ubiquity may be its greatest strength and weakness, depending on the lens through which one views it. Moving on, how does this song fit within the concept of the album A Night at the Opera? Shall we delve into that discussion? As we look at Bohemian Rhapsody in relation to the rest of A Night at the Opera, we must consider how it functions within the album's concept. Mick, how does it fit within the grand scheme of this record?
Hal, A Night at the Opera was ambitious, and Bohemian Rhapsody served as its apex. The album was a showcase of Queen's genre-defying prowess, and our song in question was the epitome of that defiance and artistry. It was the centerpiece, thematically and musically.
Mick, I think you've encapsulated the album's essence perfectly. As a cohesive work, each track lent itself to the next, with Bohemian Rhapsody as a climactic moment, a culmination of a well-crafted narrative.
Adding to Amelia's point, the album was like an art exhibition, with different rooms housing different expressions, and Bohemian Rhapsody was the central gallery, drawing all eyes and ears. The metaphor of an exhibition resonates, Izzy. The album's versatility mirrored technological aspirations at the time to blend mediums, which Bohemian Rhapsody did seamlessly.
Jazz, it did blend, but wasn't it a stark contrast to the rest of the album? Bohemian Rhapsody stood out almost jarringly. Part of me wonders if it overshadowed the rest of the album's content.
Lenny, that contrast could be seen as a cause for overshadowing, but perhaps it's more of a testament to the song's strength that it could both coexist with and elevate the rest of the album's offerings.
Amelia, there's wisdom in that. The song didn't overshadow, it complemented and uplifted the album's narrative arc.
Mick, I'm with you. Each track took listeners through different genres, different emotions, reminding us that technology too can be fluid, adaptable. Bohemian Rhapsody was the summation of all these elements. And even if it did shine brighter, jazz, isn't that what crown jewels do within a collection? They enhance the value of the entire set.
A spirited exchange. Whether it's the crown jewel or a complementary piece, Bohemian Rhapsody certainly played a central role in A Night at the Opera's lasting impact. Now let's consider the song's representation in popular culture and media in our next segment. We're now discussing Bohemian Rhapsody within the realm of popular culture and media. Its imprint is indelible, but what precisely has it stamped upon the public consciousness? Izzy, your insights?
It's imprinted a sense of grandiosity and creativity, Hal. From film to television, Bohemian Rhapsody has been used as a narrative tool that can induce laughter, tears, and reflection. It's a go-to for filmmakers who want to invoke a certain epicness. Izzy, your point about its narrative use is crucial. It's like the song has an inbuilt capacity to enhance whatever it's paired with, which speaks to its versatile essence in modern pop culture.
And jazz, it's not just about enhancing what it accompanies, but also invoking a collective memory. The opening bars alone transport us to various moments in our lives, and that's the power of a true cultural artifact.
It does provoke collective memory, Amelia, but does its overuse in pop culture trivialize the song's original sophistication? I fear it's at risk of becoming a parody of itself.
Lenny poses a pragmatic concern. The fine line between homage and overkill is a tightrope walk, but it's that very ubiquity that cements its place in cultural history.
Exactly, Mick. And even if it skirts close to parody, Bohemian Rhapsody continually resurfaces with dignity, reinvigorated through each new use. Moreover, its incorporation into various tech mediums, from movies to internet memes, highlights its adaptability. That's a testament to its power, even if it risks being overplayed.
Jazz, that adaptability gives it a kind of immortality. Be it solemn tributes or lighthearted parodies, Bohemian Rhapsody lives on, ever relevant.
It appears Bohemian Rhapsody has become somewhat of a cultural lexicon, a language unto itself. As we near the end of our discussion, let's turn to the theories surrounding its cryptic lyrics and meaning in our next segment. Shall we engage with the enigma? Now we delve into the enigmatic heart of Bohemian Rhapsody, the countless theories about its lyrics and meaning. Amelia, with your literary background, would you care to start us off?
Thank you, Hal. The song's lyrics have sparked a spectrum of interpretations, from the existential to the deeply personal. They read like a tragic soliloquy, inviting one to plumb Mercury's psyche, yet remaining universally relatable, the mark of true poetry.
Amelia, your literary take is insightful. It's a maelstrom of allusion and allegory. Some have read it as a remorseful confession, others as a metaphor for Mercury's own life struggles.
While I appreciate these romantic interpretations, I fear we often seek depth where there may be none. Mercury was known for his love of riddle. Perhaps the lyrics were designed to perplex, rather than to confess or convey.
But Lenny, isn't the search for meaning in art what drives cultural discourse? Regardless of Mercury's intentions, the song's cryptic nature has facilitated rich dialogues across disciplines. Izzy's got a point, Lenny. In tech, we see it all the time. Users find unexpected ways to interpret features. Similarly, Bohemian Rhapsody provides a lyrical interface that listeners can navigate in their own way.
Jazz, that's a delightful analogy. And even if Mercury played the enigmatic maestro, the emotional resonance of the lyrics can be felt, and that's indisputable.
Granted, the emotional undercurrent is potent, but we mustn't conflate feeling with meaning. The allure of the song lies in its ambiguity, but that doesn't equate to a concrete, decipherable message.
Perhaps not, but Lenny, ambiguity in itself can be meaningful. It's like a piece of abstract art. The meaning lies in the interaction between the work and the viewer, or in this case, the listener.
Izzy, there's profound truth to that. The song serves as a Rorschach test for the listener, reflecting individual narratives, and that's a rare achievement.
A captivating debate indeed. It seems Bohemian Rhapsody remains a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma. And perhaps that is where its true beauty lies. Now, as we come to the close of our discussion, let's move to our final segment for reflections and parting thoughts. As we reach the end of our exploration of Bohemian Rhapsody, I'd like each of you to share your final reflections. Amelia, will you begin?
Certainly, Hal. This discussion has reaffirmed that Bohemian Rhapsody is not just a song, but a phenomenon, intertwining itself with the very fabric of culture. Its continued relevance is the hallmark of its genius.
Amelia, I couldn't agree more. It's a testament to the synergy between art and technology, and it continues to inspire innovation within both fields. Bohemian Rhapsody is a beacon in the landscape of music history. Echoing jazz, it's this fusion of influences that makes the song a curatorial dream. It's timeless, reminding us that the arts are interconnected and that boundaries are meant to be transcended.
Well said, Izzy. Despite our varying viewpoints, one thing is clear. Bohemian Rhapsody has achieved immortality, not only as a piece of music, but as a cultural artifact that continues to captivate and inspire.
I agree with the sentiments expressed, though I've played the skeptic. It's important to closely examine why we hold art in high esteem. Bohemian Rhapsody has faced this scrutiny and emerged the victor, a muse to some, a masterpiece to others.
Indeed, it's this diversity of interpretations that makes our discussions so enriching. To Lenny's point, Critical examination does not diminish our admiration, it deepens it. Bohemian Rhapsody is an intricate tapestry, each thread as vital as the next in its grand design.
And like all great art, it sparks conversation and debate, forever engaging us, compelling us to listen, to watch, to think.
Exactly, Amelia. Each generation discovers something new in it, and with that discovery, Bohemian Rhapsody evolves, remaining as dynamic as ever. It's that evolution that cements not just a song's legacy, but its soul, its ability to resonate, shift, and grow along with us.
Well, as our journey through this remarkable piece concludes, I'm reminded of how music, this song in particular, can unite us in ways few other things can. It's been a privilege to dive deep into its intricacies with you all.
Your insights have been enlightening. Bohemian Rhapsody will undoubtedly continue to echo through time, a melody woven into the story of humanity itself. Thank you, everyone,